As much as Tyler is really talking about the luxurious lifestyle, he does get very deep when he wants to. Go subscribe. Hey, what's up, y'all? Welcome to Brews and Reviews. It's Knowledge, and today I'm reviewing Tyler, the Creator's Call Me If You Get Lost. And I am sipping on a Mosquito Hawk. That's an amber ale coming in at 5.9% from Oklahoma City. Local, good beer. Let's get into this project. Can't say I'm a huge fan of Tyler, the Creator overall, especially as he's moved on to get more wider appeal. But I do appreciate his projects when they drop, giving them a listen and enjoying them at the time. I think he deserves the commercial success he's getting because he puts in the work. He remains innovative even as he does stretch a bit for pop appeal. It doesn't feel like that's all he's doing, and he remains experimental to a degree. And I like how he can grab the ear of very casual fans, maybe even fans that don't even really listen to hip hop like that, but then he can go and do guest spots on some of our favorite hip hop artists' albums. In fact, some of the best albums from last year. And if you're a real hip hop head, you know which ones I'm talking about. That's Alfredo, one of the best guest spots of the year he did on that project, and also Pray for Paris. And this is his follow-up to his Grammy-award winning album, Igor, so the pressure is on. Let's get into it. Sir Baudelaire, this is produced by Tyler, the Creator, just like the whole album is, but this one is also co-produced by Conductor Williams, one of the only two co-producers on the entire albums. And Conductor is fresh off of making some of the best beats of the year for Mach Hommy on Pray for Haiti. And this has a very unique but groovy bass line, and DJ Drama makes his first appearance, and he will appear throughout the album, giving the album a very mixtape feel. And this song also introduces Tyler's alter ego, Tyler Baudelaire, that he's going to use for the album. And this is all about travel, as you can tell from the passport on the cover. And you have to wonder if Tyler just spent all year during the pandemic pent up, not being able to go places, so he wanted to make a travel-inspired album. Corso, straight into 3 verses of straight rhymes on this, and while this does continue the glossy, multi-layered production that he did on Igor, this one also features more rapping than that album did, going back to focus more on rhymes than he did with his previous project. He says on this, I might buy a boat, and I think he needs to go ahead and make that decision. As much as he talks about buying the boat, whether it's practical or not, just do it, Tyler. You got the money, you keep talking about it, just make that decision. Lots of beat switches and elements assist the flow, and he says, look, tried to take somebody bitch because I'm a bad person. I don't regret shit because that worth it. And they edit out the word bitch, but he brings in his trademark humor later, saying he doesn't even like the word bitch, but it sounded cool. Lemonhead on a hype, horn-driven beat that really sounds like a battle rap from a DJ Drama mixtape. Tyler goes off on his house and his views, bringing in some slick metaphors throughout the track, such as, got a roommate, he won't move out. If you want smoke, he the cool ant. Nice double entendre. This is smoke as in the dude won't hesitate to fight, but also like the cool ant who will smoke you out. And I also love the line about putting a bike rack on the Rolls Royce. You would never see that. And in between this, he's got call outs to great crews of the past. And he says flip mode, referencing them. And I'm really glad that he brought up the Woo and brought up specifically Brooklyn Zoo, the great ODB song. And it's good that he paid homage here, because as soon as I saw the cover to this album, of course, I thought immediately about Return to the 36 Chambers. And there's no chorus at all. We get straight into the guest spot by 42 Dugg. And there was a time when I thought that this Eazy-E sounding dude really had some potential, but I don't hear it on this track at all. What's Your Name featuring Ty Dolla $ign with a catchy chorus, and even Tyler's delivery on this track make this a more commercial sound, especially when we get to the fully auto-tuned verse by Youngboy NBA. And I don't really listen to this dude. Does he always sound like that? Let me know if he sounds like that in the comments. I'm just gonna say this one isn't for me. That's all I'm gonna say. Lumberjack, the single that dropped right before the album to build some hype, and I bet you most of his listeners did not recognize where this track comes from. And if you did recognize it, let me know that you're a real one in the comments. This comes from the Gravediggers, the Prince Paul produced 2 Cups of Blood, and anybody could sound great over this beat, which Tyler does, and he does it justice. And with this in mind, you know that Tyler is the RZA of his generation. And why is it Lumberjack? Because he wishes someone would. Tyler's humor is fully on display. Hot Wind Blows, continuing with much of the theme of the album. He's talking about the luxurious lifestyle and traveling the globe. He says, "Finders, we play in hide and seek with the passports. Where the fuck we at? Oh, the pilot gotta remind us." Now that's the life right there. And a solid verse from Wayne here. Even though he sounds slightly off at parts, he's going into his double time thing, a little bit slurred, but he's still there. Massa is one of the standout tracks, maybe my favorite here. There's a great beat with ample bass for Tyler to get very personal on. He says, "Yeah, when I turned 23, that's when puberty finally hit me. My facial hair started growing. My clothing ain't really fit me. That caterpillar went to cocoon. Do you get me? See, I was shifting. That's really why Cherry Bomb sounded so shifty." The chorus of this is also on some deep metaphor shit. And as much as Tyler is really talking about the luxurious lifestyle and hinting at his wealth throughout the entire album, he does get very deep when he wants to. Run It Up. This song feels like complete filler to me. Like this wasn't really necessary. It's like you keep listening, just waiting for the song to start. And I don't know that it ever does, but if it does, it starts somewhere around the 2-minute mark. And what they're doing there is still not enough to save it. Manifesto featuring Domo Genesis from OF. And Tyler's getting after it lyrically, speaking on cancel culture and the blowback that he gets from fans, many of them white fans who think that he's not saying enough about black social issues. He says, "Internet bringing old lyrics up like I hide the shit. What's your address? I could probably send you a copy, bitch. I was canceled before canceled was with Twitter fingers. Protesting outside my show, I gave them the middle finger." We need more artists like this who are not swayed by what the Twitter crowd is saying is right or wrong, who are just doing them, using humor in a fearless way and not being so sensitive. Sweet. I Thought You Wanted to Dance, and we are seeing more of the Igor style here with him singing over synths for the first part. This also makes me wonder how much Tyler is influenced by The Love Below. It's very reminiscent, although not executed as well, in my opinion, as that project. And the second part is on some salsa dubstep mashup tip, and this is something that you definitely could dance to. And I gotta say, I'm really feeling this, even though you couldn't really describe it as hip-hop, even though there's a rap verse at the end. Still, the entire song is a little bit too long, a little bit too drawn out at over 9 minutes. They could have condensed it into one really tight track. Mama Talk is a recording that is really only interesting when you know the backstory that Tyler put this phone number on a bunch of billboards, and when people called in, this is one of the messages that they would hear. Rise, these drums, let's go. And Tyler gets in with the flow. He says, so I win. I can't do this shit with my eyes closed. Can't tell the difference like Michael's vitiligo. Vitilgo?
Vitilgo.
This is a little disrespectful, but funny on the same time. This album actually dropped on the anniversary of Michael Jackson's death, and vitiligo was the disease that MJ supposedly had that he gave as an excuse for his skin being white. But Tyler says you can't tell the difference if it's the disease or whatever the hell else is going on with his skin. Juggernaut. Tyler's on some trap shit with his production and his verse, and versatility is a strength of Tyler's, and you can definitely see it with this track. Lil Uzi Vert sounds at home on the beat, but the same cannot be said for Pharell. Little surprised he didn't have a production credit on this, but his rhymes definitely ain't with it.
Little out of his element.
Wilshire, and we get the full story here of what he brought up previously about having emotional feelings for another man's girls, one of his friends, in fact. And when I say we get the full story, I mean we get the full story. This one logs in at a long 8.5 minutes. This has some good lines on it. For example, he says, and they say bros over hoes. I'm like, nah, hey, I would rather hold your hand than have a cool handshake. While this is an ambitious song and I liked going through it the first time, I can't say that it has a lot of replay value. I felt like Tyler should have varied the flow a little bit, and he should have given us more of a twist ending. As we were building up through the ending and hearing about his love for this girl, and he's kind of the third wheel because there's this other dude involved, I thought we were gonna get a real twist, and there was kind of a twist, but it was just that the girl chose to stay with her dude even though she was having fun with him. I would have liked to have seen something more like the twist in Nas's Undying Love, or a more recent example would be Dave's Leslie. Both of those songs are just kind of shocking at the end of their love storytelling, leaving you to feel like this one was a bunch of buildup for almost nothing. Safari, more travel-themed lyrics, and Tyler doing some of his best punchlines to round out the album. He says, skateboard named him Bunny Hop. It's Baudelaire Wolfie though. The felines name him Alf for how long he eat the... And I love when artists do stuff like this by not saying it. It is almost more stated and prevalent than actually saying it. And this is a great punchline because Alf was a sitcom character that was known to love to eat cats. And that's a humble brag from Tyler right there. This, to me, is uneven. Although I have no doubt that Tyler's fans will claim that this is album of the year. To me, Tyler's bigger strength is as a producer. His rhymes are a little lacking. I feel like he could have some more versatility with the flow and a little deeper subject matter with the lyrics if he wanted to be at the top of the rap genre. Now, if we're talking about pop, then maybe he is at the top. And I think that he's doing a lot of things that people in pop are not doing. To me, this feels exactly like the rest of his discography. I will check it out when it drops and maybe listen to it for a week or so, but there's really nothing here that's gonna stick with me. I'm gonna give this a 6 out of a 12 pack. Now go ahead and give me hate in the comments. Thank you for watching my review of Tyler, the Creator's Call Me If You Get Lost. If you like this, go ahead and hit like now and hit me up in the comments. If you didn't like it, also let me know why in the comments. I drop hip-hop and hops related content consistently, so until I see you next time, keep bugging. Bugging man says subscribe.
But if he's on his channel saying that somebody's album is better than mine, unsubscribe to him.
No, your album's the best, man.
There you go, subscribe.
Yeah.
Subscribe.